For the past 2 months, I've been in A-level exam season, and these exams have made me fat and unhealthy. A-levels are the exams that some people take when they're 17 to 18 years old in the UK, and during that time, my diet was terrible. I almost completely fell off my gym journey. I lost motivation in the gym. It was just completely messed up. My gym journey was completely messed up because of these exams. And naturally, this showed in my physique. I think I got more fatter I gained more fat and I didn't gain as much muscle during this time period. Of course, I was still going to the gym. That's still more than most people. I was still hitting the gym. However, it wasn't as consistent. My training split is 6 times a week. So I try to go six times a week to the gym. But I just wasn't hitting it during my exam season. So my goal this summer is to get shredded. So cut down body fat a lot to the point at which I'm about 10% body fat. So 10% body fat, I'll show you a picture of here, is really, really shredded. So it's to go through a major fat loss journey this summer. Now I'm going to be laying out exactly how I'm going to do that in this video. And first of all, I'm going to caveat this with, I don't think everyone should be doing this. Again, this is more male dominated. I don't really know how female bodybuilding or body image stuff works. I am around 6 foot, so I'm about 5 foot, 5'10", 5'11" ish. If someone asks me in person, oh yeah, how tall are you? And I say 6 foot, they probably, most people believe. No one's gonna take out a tape measure and start measuring me in real life. I just go for 6 foot, and right now I'm about 81 to 82 kg. I'll put that in pounds up here somewhere as well. I don't know, if you're from America or something. So I'm a pretty big guy. If you see me in person, I'm a pretty big guy. And I think people like me who've been lifting for the last year or two should cut. If you have a skinny fat physique, if you're skinny now, if you're under, let's say 70 kg and you're my height-ish, or you're slightly below 5'8", and you're still 68 kg, you shouldn't be going for lean, the lean look. You shouldn't be shredding body fat. You shouldn't be losing fat at this stage. In my opinion, you should first lift the weights, gain the muscle, build the muscle. I've already hit 100 kg bench press. I've already hit these sort of gym milestones. I've built a pretty good frame, I would say, for myself. And now I can shred down. I can go through a major fat loss journey, and then my muscles will show after that. However, if you're skinny fat right now, and if you cut down to 58 kg, if you're 65 kg right now, or 5'8", and you shred down, you're just gonna look like a skinnier version of yourself because you don't have the muscle mass for it to show after, right? So if you're not if you're around my height, 5'8", 5'9", and you're a dude like me, and you want to shred, don't worry about that now. In a weird way, if you bulk up, you could see your abs. You can get more muscular if you bulk up and lift weights now than if you cut down. But I'm talking specifically for people like me. If you're a big guy, I have quite a lot of muscle, I'm a big guy in person, I think we should shred, or we should go through a major fat loss journey during the summer. I want to tell you a bit more about me. When I was younger, I was extremely, extremely overweight. I remember one time in school, we had this National Health Service checkup thing. So everyone would come into school, they would take our height, they would take our weight, and they would send it to the National Health Service of the UK. And they would calculate that stuff, and then they would tell you if you're healthy, if you're overweight, or if you need some attention. And I remember a letter came home in the post and it was bordered in red. And basically the National Health Service just said I was extremely, extremely unhealthy and unfit and overweight. And basically the government was telling me to lose some weight. And I remember at this time as well, I think it was just after lockdown, I would struggle to work. I would struggle to I wouldn't say struggle to move, but it was definitely hard climbing upstairs. Yeah, it was just everything was just so bad. My life quality was just so bad. So after that, I wanted to get into shape, so I started running, and also I started lifting weights. But I would go into the gym and I would just copy what another dude who looked like he knew what he was doing. So I remember this one time someone was doing band stuff in the gym, so I went and copied him. But it was only about a year or two ago that I actually started researching how to get into the gym. Like I started researching like what you have to do, like all the stuff, how you do incline bench press. And I think around this time as well, everyone else was getting into the gym as well. So like some of my friends were into it. It was just a hype thing. Like everyone was going to the gym. And since then I've been lifting weights consistently, and I've gotten like quite a lot of muscle mass, I would say. Like I'm 81 kg right now. I'll show you another physique pic up here. So I'm pretty big, right? However, it was only up until recently I realized that shredding, like getting lean, is so OP. So I was going to the gym and everything. My weights were going up. However, it wasn't like I didn't feel satisfied about my physique. I didn't feel satisfied about the way I looked, just because like I was putting in so much more effort than everyone else. I wouldn't say everyone else around me, but like most people around me weren't really going to the gym. However, I still didn't look like I wanted to. I still didn't look like a person who lifted weights consistently. And now it's come to me, like it's become a realization to me. I've woken up because I realized that the reason I didn't look like that is because I didn't lean down. I didn't shred. A lot of people make this mistake. They go to the gym for years, but they never go through a proper cutting phase. I don't know why. Like that is the constraint in my physique right now. If I got leaner right now, because I'm big right now, I would look so much better. I would just feel way more happier than if I didn't. Right? So like you could probably see this in your life. If you know someone who lifts or goes to the gym consistently, they're probably not lean. And I know that it's hard to do and everything, but like no one had ever come up to me and told me in person that like, oh yeah, like the next thing you need to do right now is get leaner and like lose body fat so that your muscles will show even more. Even though I'm gonna lose some weight, my muscles will show even more if I lose that fat. And yeah, that was just a realization I had that came to me pretty recently, you know. So after my A level exams, I basically wrote down what I like my step by step plan about how I was gonna lose weight and get shredded this summer. This is exactly the same as like writing down like a revision plan. If you're new to this channel and you don't know what this channel is about, basically I do like productivity, I do like revision for exams, and I plan everything out. So I basically did the same thing in my like fitness journey as well. So I'm gonna lay that out to you. If you want to get shredded this summer as well, I would recommend you have the same sort of plan. Step number one of the plan is I need to eat less calories than I burn off in the day. That is just like what a cut is underpinned by. A cut is when you lose fat, but also you're gonna kind of lose muscle as well. And a bulk is when you gain muscle, but you're also gonna gain a bit of fat as well. So right now, I think I have enough muscle for me to lose a little bit but get really really lean and like look good, than like I don't need like loads and loads of muscle right now. I'm pretty like, I wouldn't say jacked, but I'm pretty in shape right now. The underlying foundation of a cut is by eating less than you burn off. So right now I'm gonna eat 1,800 calories to 2,000 calories in a day. And the way I'm going to track this is through an app called MyFitnessPal. And it's basically where you can log food. So for example, if I ate a potato, I could weigh the potato on like a measuring scale I have, and then put it in this MyFitnessPal app, and it tells you the calories that potato is. And then it's kind of like I have 1,800 pounds to spend in a day, and I can spend that on food, but in the form of calories. So like eat different foods have different calories, and that basically racks up to your total amount of calories. So if I ate like a Snickers bar, that would be a lot of calories, and you don't want to do that. You're going to gain more fat. But if you ate like I don't know, cucumber or lettuce, that's like way less calories, so you can eat more of that for the same amount. If you kind of get me, you probably know what a calorie is. So that's number one. I have to eat less than I actually burn off in the day for me to lose fat. The second step of this cutting framework is that I have to track everything. I have to track every single food, every single morsel of food that enters my mouth. I have to track on MyFitnessPal, like the app that I told you about earlier. And the reason is, loads of people try go on a cut, loads of people try and lose fat. However, they just like they eat these calories without even knowing. So for example, if I put sauce on my like chips or something, or if I put sauce on my plate, most people don't really track that. Most people don't weigh that. But in my opinion, that is still calories. That is still going towards your like maximum amount of calories that you can eat in a day. And I have to track everything. Like you have to track everything that enters your mouth basically on MyFitnessPal for it to be accurate and for you to actually lose fat. Loads of people put like sauces like mayonnaise, like ketchup, all of these things rack up. All of these things are hundreds of calories, and some people they think they're eating within the amount of calories they have in a day. However, like all of these sources add up to maybe 500, 600 more than they had initially planned. So that's what I want to like stay away from. So by having this almost disciplined approach to tracking food, like I will track everything that enters my mouth, basically everything. Of course, like if I go out to like a restaurant, I'm not gonna bring my weighing scale with me, and I'm not gonna put like the food on the weighing scale there. I'll kind of guess there, but like 99% of the time, I will track every single morsel of food that enters my mouth for it to be accurate. Step number three is within the food I eat, I have to eat more than 120 grams of protein per day. And the reason, so like that's number one. If I followed the first two steps, I would lose weight. So I would lose muscle and fat. However, I don't just want to lose weight. I want to lose specifically fat. And the way you do that is by preserving the muscle mass. So you want to preserve the muscles I want to preserve the muscles I've built up for the last year or so. So like the way I do that is by still lifting weights and also eating more than 120 grams of protein a day. If I eat more than that, I'm going to lose significantly less muscle than if I just ate like zero protein a day, because I would lose way more muscle and way more fat by just doing that. But I don't want to do that. I want to still look good after the cut. So I'm going to eat more than 120 grams of protein a day, and like the rest of it should be like kind of clean. Like loads of people over obsess over what foods you have to eat, like what protein stuff you have to eat. In my opinion, I kind of already know what's healthy and what's not. Like if I was gonna go out and eat pizza, that is not like that is unhealthy. You could make the argument, but it's just bread and it's just cheese and it's just tomato. No, pizza is unhealthy, right? Burgers are unhealthy. Stuff like steak, stuff like meat, grilled meat, all of these stuff are healthy. So you kind of intrinsically know like what is healthy and what is not. But like most people cope and then eat stuff they shouldn't, just because like they rationalize it in their mind. But I kind of intrinsically already know what's healthy and what's not. I'm not going to over obsess over anything. I'm just going to eat pretty clean, pretty healthy, and keep under my caloric intake and eat more than 120 grams of protein. Sometimes I have something called protein powder, which is like a powder you can mix in with water, and that gives you more protein. However, that is kind of unhealthy, like to eat a lot of, so I only have like a scoop or two a day. The fourth step to my shredding routine is consistency. Loads and loads of people don't do this. Loads of people do the first three steps, but they don't do this last step, which I think is really, really important. And basically, what it is what you have to understand is something called recency bias. I'm going to give you another example in terms of like studying. So, around a year ago, I was in year 12, so I was in like the 12th grade in the UK. I was studying maths, further maths, and physics, and I had a physics end of topic test coming up in 2 weeks. But the first week leading up to the test, I didn't really do that much revision. I only like revised one time during that week. However, the next week I revised four times during the 5 days in that during the 7 days in that week. And when I did when I was entering the test, I thought I revised a lot. But in reality, over 2 weeks, all I did was 5 days of revision. Like I didn't, I thought I was like I revised way more than anyone. But it was only because of recency bias I thought that. It was only because I was working hard recently. Like I worked hard near enough the exam that I thought that I had worked very hard for the exam. However, it was only because of recency bias I thought that. This is the same with like losing fat and losing weight. Loads and loads of people think they're doing a lot of work in the gym. They think they're going to the gym consistently. But if they just tracked exactly what days they were going to the gym in, they would see that they hadn't been consistent throughout the month. They've only worked hard recently, and that's why they had the feeling that they were working really hard. But if you looked at it objectively, quantitative, quantitatively, how do you say that word? Numerically, throughout the month, they would see that they weren't going consistently. So the way I'm going to solve that is I'm going to have a habit tracker. I've talked about this on the channel before, and it's basically a checklist that you can put on your wall or something, or on your laptop or Notion or something, every single day where you check off when you go to the gym. So, for example, if it was the 12th of June or the 12th of July, I would check off that I've gone to the gym and I've checked, or I would check off that I've stayed under 1,900 or 1,800 calories a day. And if I do that consistently over a month, that those days are going to add up and I'm going to look leaner at the end of it. So if you want to take anything from this video, if you think you know most of what's said in this video, at least take this thing. Loads of people don't have habit trackers. Loads of people don't track exactly when they go to the gym, and they complain why they're not gaining weight or why they're not losing weight. But it's just they haven't been consistent enough. It's only recency bias that they think that they're being consistent in. But yeah, so like these four things, in my opinion, if I apply these over the next 2 months, I will lose a significant amount of fat during the summer holidays and shred down. I will be consistently sharing my fat loss journey on this channel. So if you want to be a part of that, or you just want advice on productivity or fitness, click on the subscribe button down below and share this to someone else who's gotten fat over exam season. Click on the notification bell as well so you can get a notification every single time I upload to this channel. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.